Hi there, my name is Danielle. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am a entrepreneur, freelancer, graphic designer, illustrator. I own a toy business. I also talk here about health. I have an autoimmune condition, so I talk about my experiences with that. And I talk about hair. I've been locked now for 2.5 years. But today we're talking about business/freelancer life. So you might notice a little bit of an echo and the fact that I have a lot of boxes around me, which isn't even the half of it, but I wanted to come in here and discuss and share with you my experience with receiving my biggest set of inventory yet. So I own a toy brand called Zuri Dre, and it is based off of these plush dolls, Zuri and Dre, who are also based off of my coloring books, my self-published coloring books. And so I've now had the business for about a year officially. I launched the concept around 2019, 2020, but I only officially received my inventory after the whole sample process, etc., in 2021. So now we're 2022, and it's been a full year, full circle, that I've had this business, and this is my second batch of inventory, my biggest yet. I received 1,000 Zuri dolls, 1,000 Dre dolls, and then I launched this new product, which are cushions, which are based off of the dolls, but it's just their heads. And so those, I got 250 pieces of each. So I got 2,500 pieces of inventory that I've never received before ever. And if you are a business owner, small business owner, big business owner in general, going through this pandemic, that you know, getting these was not easy. So I just wanted to share with you my experience, kind of give you a look to see how this kind of works behind the scenes, why I'm in an empty apartment. And yeah, so let's get into it. So I live in an apartment building, and this is not my actual unit. So my mom always taught me ask, and if the worst case scenario, they say no. So I asked my apartment management, and I asked them if they had any vacant apartments that weren't going to be rented anytime soon, and they had one. So I'm in an apartment that I'm renting weekly that's vacant. I only had it for about 3 weeks. This is gonna be my last week, so I figured now's the best time to be recording a video. And so I received the shipment, huge truck, and I had like all my boxes, 54 boxes in total. And it was exciting, it was nerve-wracking, it was freaking out. Luckily I had the help of my mom and my partner, who helped me like get the boxes into the building. We put them in our garage spaces in the building, and then from there we brought them upstairs. Took a few trips, took a couple trolleys, couple dollies, all those kind of fun things, but we got them here. And then the reason why I wanted this space is because I do have storage spaces, but they're not big enough for me to be able to count and go through the inventory. They're just really there for putting the boxes in and keeping them in a safe place. So in order for me to be able to count the inventory and actually go through everything, I needed a bigger space. And having something in the same building that I live in was goals. So here we are. That's why it's a little echoey. There's no furniture in here. It is just the vacant apartment that I'm using to store my boxes. And so we finally started putting boxes into the storage units a couple of days ago, and I still have this space for a few more days. And so here we are. It's been exciting, it's been nerve-wracking, it's been crazy. So to give you a timeline, generally these boxes are coming from overseas. So they're coming from Asia, they're coming from China. I work with an amazing supplier. They actually have their offices based in the States, but getting the boxes here was not easy. Not easy in the sense of like the waiting time. I mean, me sitting in waiting for them to come here obviously is easy, but generally speaking, it takes about 30, 35, maybe 40 days to come from overseas to Vancouver, and then Vancouver to here in Montreal. I'm located in Montreal. But since we're in a panorama upon the replay, it took forever. So it comes from China, then it gets to Vancouver by boat, and then from there it goes on rail, and it comes from Vancouver to Montreal. So essentially from one side of the country to the other, literally going half across the world. And so generally that takes about 35, maybe 40 days on a good time period, good time of the year. But with this pandemic, it's taken a lot longer. And then on top of that, unfortunately, Vancouver went through a really, really bad natural kind of disaster. They had really bad flooding, which ruined some of the roads. people couldn't leave, people couldn't come in, so that delayed things even more. So we had the pandemic delay, and then we had natural disaster delay. So it took about 4 months, 3-4 months for the items to get here. And generally that's not that bad, except for the fact that this was my first holiday season that just passed. We're now in January, and the items were meant to come in October. And I thought, okay, I ordered them enough and early enough, pandemic or not, I'll still get the items here in time. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And I only got the items a few days before Christmas. And so that was a whole fiasco just internally, because I'm a business of one. Yes, I do get help from my mom, my partner, but I'm a business of one. And so everything is kind of on my shoulders, and I had these items available for pre-order. And the whole concept of pre-order is, of course, people purchase it, they trust you, they purchase the items expecting for them to come based off the timeline that you give them. And I gave them a fall 2021 timeline. Nothing too concrete in the sense of a date, but at least a season. But they came technically in winter, which is December 21st is the first day of winter. So that was nerve-wracking, but I was transparent with my customers, with my subscribers. I was so transparent with them as much as possible. I told them things that came up when they came up. So essentially I said, okay, because of the flooding, here are the links to different articles, the items are delayed. I offer them to get a refund if that's something that they're interested in, since the items weren't gonna come in time for them to get it for Christmas, because I know sometimes these things are gifts for Christmas. And so I only had 2 refunds, but they were super, super supportive. They're like, definitely gonna purchase an order from you in the future. It's just, unfortunately, these were meant to be Christmas gifts, and now we need to find something else, which is completely understandable. So I had about 36 orders that I had to prepare when the items did come, but that was a whole whirlwind. Like, I had so much pressure on myself to be able to get things here on time. And it was a little nerve-wracking and scary for it not to get here. Even with the anticipated buffer that I added to it, it was a little nerve-wracking. So that was fun. Probably could have gone through the items in the boxes in a lot less time than 3 weeks and have paid maybe for 2 weeks, but it was the holiday season. It's also during the time of my 2-week break. I take 2 weeks off like teachers do. Since I'm a freelancer business owner, I can decide when I want to take time off. So when I say take time off, that really means from my freelancing life, not from my small business life, in the sense of the toy brand. Like when toy orders were coming in, I was preparing them, that was still happening, but I took 2 weeks off from my freelance client work. And so I probably could have gotten things done sooner than 3 weeks, but I was taking my time. I was enjoying the break. Why not? Life's too short to be rushing and going crazy, and I have an autoimmune condition, so stressing out is not fun or not good for me, and not good for anyone really. So yeah, it took me about 3 weeks. And as I said, so now I'm preparing to bring things into my storage units, which are actually in my building again, so I never have to leave my house. It's fantastic. And a lot of the things that I'm paying for are business expenses, which is great. So I'll give you guys a tour of the unit so you guys can kind of see what it is. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit in my building. Not like I work for them or anything, but it's really cool to kind of see what the space looks like. I only used I used the living room, a little bit of the entryway, because I had like tables and stuff, and I was like writing my notes and taking the inventory. So I only used maybe about like a third of the whole space. But yeah, so this is what the apartment looks like. Very spacious, in my opinion, at least for what I needed. I'm not trying to put a couch, beds, and all that kind of stuff, but for what I needed, it was fantastic. I would have taken a 1-bedroom or a studio, but this was great. And so shout out to my building and management for being okay with this. So yeah, so it's been an ordeal. It's been rewarding, it's been exciting, it's been nerve-wracking, but we're here. We made it, and now my stuff are on sale. So if you're interested in purchasing a doll or a cushion, I'll leave the links below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.